Welcome to episode 124 of the Left Behind Game Club. This week, we play Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. Let's get right into it.
You're listening to the Left Behind Game Club.
Welcome to the Left Behind Game Club, our never-ending attempt to make sure that no game is left behind. I'm your host, Jacob McCord, and today I have two friends with me. The first friend, you know him, you love him. His name is Travis Colenutt.
Oh, hi.
And our second friend today, back for the 10th time on the show, Katie Lesperance. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you.
I didn't mention this, Travis. This is your 16th time on the show, so
Good
welcome
grief.
back. So many times.
Oh, my gosh.
We're here to talk about video games. Today we're talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. A few call-outs before we get into it. First off, thank you to Ubisoft for sending us the codes to do this. We are very appreciative. If you check out at Left Behind Club on Twitter, we'll also have a giveaway for a copy of the game on PS4. So if you like what you heard here, you'll be able to potentially win a copy and play for yourself.
Nice.
Also, there's going to be a video version of this podcast, which is crazy. Travis is waving at the camera.
So fancy.
You can find that on YouTube at /Jacob McCourt, and potentially even Shane is in the background somewhere at /Shiesu, 2 S's, 2 O's. Look for that if you want to see our wonderful faces. As I said, we're playing Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. It is a game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Chengdu, published by Ubisoft, released originally for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 in 2010. I've talked a lot, but we start this show with a segment we call Fast Pitch, which is a one-sentence pitch about the video game. Why don't you guys take it away and tell us your one-sentence pitch for Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
You want me to go first?
Go for it.
Okay. It is the second best comic book video game beat-em-up after X-Men, the Konami arcade game. There we go.
That was a run-on sentence, but
Yeah.
All right.
lovely. But it was lovely.
It was.
I have a slight run on too.
Okay.
So it is a side-scrolling beat 'em up that over-represents Canadian thugs and under-represents hockey goons. There is a severe lack of hockey goons. And there is not that many thugs.
Well, you guys clearly have beaten me here because here's a fun secret. I never pre-write these down and I come up with them on the spot.
Oh,
I used to do that, and then it always went terribly. So I
Yeah.
was like, no, I need to prepare, clearly, because it was just not good. So what do you got? I can stall for you if you want.
Boom, boom, rock'em sock'em, robot, arcade, side-scrolling, beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
I
I don't know what the beep beep is.
It's the buses when they come and run you over.
Can I try? There it
There you
is.
go. You're
oh,
welcome.
they do beep beep.
You're welcome.
Can I try again?
Yeah.
This is a good movie adaptation of an excellent movie.
You sound ecstatic.
I do. Let's talk about our personal history of Scott Pilgrim. This is a series that has been around since 2010 in movies, and then even before that in books and comics.
Yes.
Travis is making a puzzle face because he knows the history.
Have
you read the books?
Yes, I have all the graphic novels. I've read them all. I was a big fan of the movie when it came out. And so I've seen the movie a good handful of times. And then obviously once we watched it for cutscenes, which the three of us are on, right? Mm-hmm. And then I had the demo for this game on my PS3. Mm-hmm. I think I only played like the first level a few times, and I was just like, I'm not going to buy this. It was fun. And then I specifically also have memories of playing it with you, Jacob, at it was maybe one of your
video game charity streams?
Yes, I remember playing it.
Cute.
Yeah. And I think that was the only other time I've played it. So like most of this game was new to me other than like the first level.
And you made a good call out that we have another podcast, the three of us, called Cutscenes. If you look inside of your podcast feed, you're going to see a little entry that says introducing cutscenes. You can listen to our Scott Pilgrim episode of the show in the feed. So when you're done with this, listen to that because that show is also very good. I love you both very much.
Oh, thank you.
Katie, tell us about Scott Pilgrim and what you know about it.
So Travis made me watch that movie a long time ago. long time ago when we were like teenagers. He was like, I love this movie and we were gonna watch it. So
That sounds like
he's
Travis.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
about right.
So watched then. It's a good movie. Really liked it. And then I knew that this was a game, but I had never played it. That's about it, really. And then I knew it was being, they were putting it back out again,
Yes.
and that's about it.
Okay. My history is somewhere in between. I probably am not as hardcore. I've not read the books. Watched the movie when it came out. I loved it. We rewatched it on cutscenes. Spoilers. We also loved it. I played the game with you on Xbox 360 in like the Xbox Live Arcade heyday when you could download games, and it was such a novel thing to be like, guys, I downloaded the game on my console.
We're so old.
Oh yeah, we are very old. This might have even been part of Xbox Live Arcade back in the day, like the
Interesting.
summer of arcade when that was a thing. I'm not 100% sure, but and then like you said, Travis, this thing disappeared off all storefronts because of a licensing issue for a long time.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, even Malloy, who's the writer, that's his last name, right? Brian.
Yes. You know what? I've never said his name out loud. Yeah. But sometimes when you read things, I'm not reading out loud, right? So I've like read his name, but I've never actually said it out
It's
loud.
not Malloy. It is O'Malley.
There you go.
Yeah, we got there. It was Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yes.
What is his other book? Mushrooms?
Yeah, I don't remember. But yes,
Yes.
there is another one.
It's very good. It disappeared. And then at a Academy showing of Scott Pilgrim for the 10th anniversary, he was like, maybe we'll bring it back. Wink. And then they brought it back in 2021. So now it's available in complete edition on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Windows, and Stadia. I think it's also on Amazon Luna, if that's the thing you have.
Oh.
Do you guys know what Amazon Luna
I
is?
have no idea what
I do
Amazon
not.
Luna
It's-
is.
I do
The
not have
Amazon
Amazon
version of
Luna.
Stadia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
There's other
Okay.
versions of that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Someone saw them do that, and they thought, we should do that too.
Jeffrey Bezos was like, hey, I hear video games are worth a lot
That's
of
a
money.
great idea.
All I hear right now is Bo Burnham singing Jeffrey Bezos in my head. There's two people that understood that reference. Anyway, we talked about the history of the game. We all played it on PS4. Again, thanks to Ubisoft for sending those codes.
Yes.
Let's just get into our feelings about this one.
What's wrong?
It's fine. It is made for a specific audience. I appreciate the game a lot. I have issues, but I want to start with what's good about this game.
Yeah.
It's fun to play.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Maybe it's not.
So basically, the more I played it, the less I liked it.
Okay.
The first 3 stages, I was, like you said, it's fun. I was enjoying myself.
Yep.
I got more and more just frustrated and annoyed and so frustrated.
Okay.
So much. And I have specific reasons that just annoy me. But there are things I like. Yeah. I like the art style. I really like the music. There's other things. Those are the main things. But yeah, I for half of it, I had a fun time.
It reminded me a lot of you called out the X-Men game
The
that was
arcade game.
Konami.
Yeah, that Konami arcade game.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
It's like the Simpsons arcade game.
Re-release that.
Because it just doesn't have legs. It is good for a few hours, but then you're like, oh, I still have to beat 8 more or 5 or 6 more stages of this thing, and that's when it starts to be a little repetitive. I think it's fair to say that we tried to play the game multiplayer,
Yes,
online, which should we just say it now that the PS4 version is probably not the way that this game should be played?
What should it be played?
I played it. I mean, I played it on PS5, but I think I had a similar experience because in multiplayer we had
Yes,
many crashes. We
didn't get through a level. I don't think.
I think we got through the first one.
But it took a lot because we had to keep
we had to
restart multiple times. Because it
Yeah,
kept
and
crashing.
there wasn't any checkpointing, so each time we had to restart each stage from the beginning. And then so it was multiplayer was an issue for sure. And then I had a couple crashes playing solo too.
Interesting.
One of them which I was already in my frustration phase, and then I literally beat the boss, one of the bosses. And before it was stage clear, it crashed.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to do it again.
Oh my
and I
god!
was so mad.
No, that didn't happen to me at all.
But yeah, I only had a couple when I was playing single.
Interesting.
I had a similar problem with the man who is a vegan.
Todd.
Yes.
Todd. The
Yeah.
Todd level.
Yes, it was after Todd. After I
Yeah.
beat Todd.
Exactly. I
Then
had
it
a crash
crashed.
in Todd.
Interesting.
My understanding is the PS3 version was ported to PS4, and the PS3 version had issues with crashes and bugs
Interesting.
and netcode, etc. So if you decide to get this game, maybe try the Switch version, the Xbox version, because it might be a little bit better. We only played the PS4 version, so that's all we've got. But also maybe play it with someone next to you on the couch, not online, because you will struggle.
Yeah. What did you like, Travis?
I liked it. I don't think I got as frustrated as you might have gotten, Katie, but I enjoyed my time with it. I think I enjoy it a lot because I've read the graphic novels, and it's literally ripped from the the art style is literally the graphic novels. It's like it looks exactly like that. Even like the characters and like the little levels and the way it moves around and everything, it's pulled from those comics. Okay. So as opposed to like the movie, which is an adaptation of it, right? And obviously like they condense things down in the movie to make it like
90 minutes or 100 minutes
and like
or
it all happens in a night or something like that. They cut a lot of stuff obviously out of this because it's a video game, but it follows the comics actually very closely in terms of like locations and where the fights happen and stuff like that. So which was actually like really cool. So like it's also been years since I've read those comics, so I don't know exactly, but it does pull a lot more from there, which is really nice. Yeah, the music, like you said, great music. Like it's still in my head. I'm like literally right now it is playing in my head. And the music is great. I do find that like after you've played the level for too long, it's the same music. So it doesn't, if it doesn't change locations quickly enough, it can get a little repetitive. But otherwise, no, like I enjoyed it. I think the key word here is repetitive, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the only thing that's probably its issue is like, I enjoyed it. I got a little frustrated, but then I had to go back and consistently grind to like be able to pass the next level. I felt like I was way too underleveled once we got to like stage like 6. Or like, maybe it was like 6. Is that the Negascott one? That's where I felt like I had the most issues.
That might be 7.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's...
No, 7 is Gideon.
You're totally right, because the twins are the 5th world.
Yes.
So you're totally
Yeah.
right. There's 7.
Yeah.
I had the same problem. I had to grind for maybe an hour and a half to beat the final level because I didn't realize for a long time. So structurally, the game is like there's an overworld, which reminds me of a lot of like Super Mario 3, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many little tidbits like that, which make this game very, very good in that sense. There's like Super Mario 3, the little coin noises.
Yep.
Like it's just very good that way.
And so you go into the levels based on that, and your skills progress over. So you're getting like levels. I think there's 17 of the levels, and each level you get a different power, and then you carry 4 stats along with you. It's like strength, guts, speed, and another. I didn't realize that like you really needed to update those and upgrade those with items, because if you don't, you're gonna get your butt kicked.
And I think you don't realize that until later in the game, and you're like, oh, there's stats. Like it does. I mean, there's a whole explanation if you go into like the menu to like how to play.
Reading things?
Yeah.
See, no, I knew I was on top of those stats like from the beginning. I was like, oh no, because basically there's a couple sprinkled throughout the whole game, but most of them are in the first stage.
Where
there's like multiple shops that you can go into, and you buy items. You buy music albums or books or drinks or food or sushi.
Yeah.
And it will buff your stats up. So you'll upgrade your strength or your defense or whatever. And then, no, I was on top of that. I was like, because I feel like I was a poor choice for this game, because I am not a huge fan of beat 'em ups. Some of them I really like. What if I think back? I'm like, what was my favorite? Probably like Turtles in Time.
Yep.
Great. Fantastic. I played some Streets of Rage back in the day. Some of them I'll just be like, oh, I don't like this. Certain ones. But the good ones I like. So it wasn't my favorite. So because of that, I was upgrading every chance I got. I was like, no, I am buffing the hell out of my little knives. My little,
Is that who you
my
played
little
with?
character. I played as knives the whole time. Yeah.
I'd use stills the whole time.
Wallace.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wallace.
I like that none of us are like, don't pick the main character.
Scott sucks.
Yes, we have established that Scott sucks,
Yeah,
generally speaking, yes.
You can listen to our podcast cutscenes where we go into detail about how Scott sucks.
Yeah, we'll explain it too.
Scott sucks. Do you want to give like a very like hot brief overview?
He is toxic boyfriend who wants a girlfriend who makes him feel good about himself, not someone that he wants to be a partner with. He's just like, hey, this girlfriend makes me feel awesome, and she thinks I'm cool, but like I'm not going to be there for her when she needs me, and I might just dump her because I saw someone I like better. So that's Scott.
Yeah.
The end.
Bag of crap. We have a question from Twitter. It is from I am Link HS. They ask, if you've watched the movie, what's your favorite song?
From the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to give me that Brie Larson
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's like the movie from that song, but like it's so good. I also really like there's I don't know who sings. I think it might be
The Sex Bob-Bums?
yes.
Garbage truck.
No, Garbage Truck was Crashing the Boys.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I definitely thought that was
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, no, but like it's same vibe. No,
Yeah.
Threshold was the one I liked the most.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the one that they play in the movie. It's the big like kind of monster fight that they do with the twins and
With the gorilla and the
Yeah.
dragons?
yeah.
Yes.
And it was Threshold. I like that one a lot. So
She just did a cover of that on her YouTube channel, correct?
Well, they finally released it, basically.
Got
But yes,
it.
no, that's
Yeah.
my favorite one too.
Oh, yeah.
Also, but just because I love Metric, so
yeah, and also Brie Larson. Like,
and she did it really well.
Oh yeah.
Like no, the recording for that movie was good.
Very impressive. We have another question here, and I'll just throw it out there because we talked about the shops and buying things. Toronto is the setting for this thing, or not? Is the setting for this thing? So I have a question from Twitter from @RainbowRoadPod. Great podcast, great folks. How's the Toronto representation in this game? It's good.
Yeah.
It's Castle. You play at Casa Loma.
Yeah.
Casa Loma's a real place.
Oh yeah. See, I've never been. You both lived in Toronto.
Yes, that's
for
true.
periods of time.
I
have
didn't.
never.
I didn't
lived
live
there.
that like downtown Toronto
Yeah.
life. But yes. No, Casa Loma, yes. I like at the end that like he runs up the CN Tower to
Yeah.
watch Gideon's
Yeah.
place blow up. That's cool. And like the map is interesting. Like you know what I mean? But I also don't know. I'm assuming some of these places are real places. Like Leo's place, is that a real place? Might
Good
be a
question.
real place.
Someone from Toronto was yelling, "Of course it is, you idiots!"
But yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's probably more in there, but also yeah.
I don't know. I mostly just noticed that there was a lot of snow and that they brought the Canadian coins into
Yeah.
it as what what you pick up when you defeat.
I really
people.
like when I see a toonie.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
A
when you
toonie.
got them toonies.
Like oh, it's dropping toonies.
Yep.
If the movie is an 8 for Toronto representation, this is a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because there's Pizza, there's Tim Hortons, there's other stuff in the movie. So,
Yeah. That makes sense.
should we tactically talk about what it's like to play this game?
Yeah.
You called it a beat 'em up. You said it's very similar to like some other games in the genre, like your Final Fights, etc., etc. It's just one of those,
Yeah.
and it is fun to play.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk about that first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a good game?
Oh, you want me to talk about it first? Okay. So, my issue is that I found it hard to control. It's not very not specific, but it's not,
very
know,
like sticky?
How did you play with the joystick itself or with the buttons?
played mostly with the
With the
joystick.
D-pad?
I tried with the D-pad and I didn't like it.
See, I
switched to the
mostly use the
joystick.
D-pad. I also found it was difficult to control.
Yes!
So like, I found I was too all over the place when it came to using the joystick.
I didn't really find either
Running
of them
was
great.
a pain in the butt.
I found sometimes running, I got used to running. I couldn't not run when I didn't want to run.
Yep.
As soon as they brought in every now and then very, very small elements of platforming, and I was like,
Terrible.
You're kidding me,
Yeah,
right?
awful.
You want me to platform? I can't not run. I literally am moving forward and I'm like, no, don't run. Walk slowly because I have to jump a small distance. And you can't change once you're in the air, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I basically would just jump as far as I could and die and then jump from wherever they spawned me and I would make it across. But so the controls were
Yeah.
difficult for me.
I would find sometimes that like I mean even like landing punches, sometimes I felt like I'm right there and I'm sitting there hitting punch and the enemy is just standing like overlapping me and not moving, but also not hitting me, and we're just sitting here like punching the air and nothing's happening. So I have to like readjust a lot and move it around. But yeah, no, like controlling wise, like it was mostly fine. I think I initially when I started playing, it was a lot of just button mashing. I was just like, but press the buttons, button mash.
Because really only had like one or two big
real
moves.
attacks. Yeah. And then I realized that blocking was key for me.
I didn't use blocks ever.
No, I see. When I tried to, it just didn't end up working out for me.
I was getting very frustrated. I think around the park level 6, you initially that level starts off and there's like 2 thugs that come and they just go crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I realized I needed to block for that period of time for their first assault to be done, so then I could attack them.
Right.
And then you unlock a dodge. So I was using like block and it was a double tap and you would roll dodge. So I was using that to get around the stage and kind of position myself into areas where I wouldn't be like bombarded. Because the frustrating part about this game is that when there's too many enemies on screen, you literally sometimes can't get a shot in.
No, you can't move.
No,
you're
literally
just getting
just
punched over and over and over again and watching your health dwindle, and you can't do anything about it.
And so I found when it was getting harder, the blocking saved me a lot. And then a lot of like the aerial attacks. There was like an air spin and that helped a lot. And so doing a lot of that helped. Once I was more technical about like my decision making, what I was doing, like, oh, I'm actually going to choose to grab this guy and throw him away as opposed to just accidentally grabbing and punching a guy and throwing him away. Like I was making more like specific choices and it made my gameplay more enjoyable.
I definitely found I got better.
Yeah.
And I used like a lot of sliding, like slide attacks. Slid like crazy. Slid attacked everybody. And yeah, jumping attacks and different things like that. So there is like a skill level to it. I'm probably just not good at beat 'em ups, but I still felt it wasn't. Yeah. Sometimes it would be so frustrating, yes, when you're just getting hit over and over and over again, and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna watch it just dwindle away.
Dwindle and die.
Yeah, I found my rhythm once I got those aerial attacks like the double jump, and when I got that kind of jumping downward kick with Wallace.
Yeah.
And then I really learned to use my special attacks. With L1 and R1 on the PlayStation 4 controller, where in my case as Wallace, you can have knives kind of come out and throw knives.
The knife stuff,
And then you have like this energy kind of shield thing.
I think it just explodes
enemies.
to like kind of pushes people away from you.
Yeah,
I barely used them. Yeah, I only used it very briefly.
Although the R1, when you use it, you're draining your guts,
Yes.
which when you die, you won't actually lose a life right away. You'll get your health replenished like half of whatever your guts level is. So I basically stopped using R1 because I was not very good. So I'm like, I'm already not making it through with the amount of health that I have. So, and also they don't have any health drops.
Yeah, that was surprising.
0 health drops whatsoever. So
you can buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then later in the game, there's not many stores.
There's like one store in every level.
Oh, I may have missed some of them, but still.
Some of them are hidden.
Yeah.
There was one in that park level. There is a hidden one that you can kind of get to, and there's a move you can buy. It's like in a training book or something.
Oh.
And it is I used that the rest of the game. Once I got it, it was I think it was like down triangle or something like that. And it's a roll that hits when you're rolling. So it's like the dodge, but like you're rolling and you're hitting and it's like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. And then you get up and you punch and it sends someone flying.
Oh.
So literally I just ended up using that nonstop across the screen back and forth because it was helping like clear the crowds and I wasn't getting hurt because you were borderline invincible while you were doing it. But it was like you had to pay a lot of money for it.
They did have a lot of good variety of moves.
Yes.
I did like that.
I'm assuming everyone moved the same way. All of our characters.
I think so.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Everything you've said is, I think your special is different, I believe. And that's probably about it. I think.
What were your specials with L1?
I think it was just knives. I had knives and I had the explosion thingy.
But Knives is the character and she would do like a spin move and basically hit anyone who's around
I think
her.
Knives and Wallace were DLC. Added characters. I think probably Ramona, Kim, Stills, and maybe Scott might have something special, but Knives was just an assist in the original version of this game. And so I think probably once they added Knives in, they had to give her a special like
Right.
special because she's not calling herself in.
It's too bad Scott's special moves isn't toxic masculinity. Hey.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. This is a question from New Dad Gaming on Twitter. When playing, which game do you think inspired the way characters move, hit, etc.? I'm always reminded of Final Fight when Pilgrim does his spin attack. I don't have a lot of experience with beat 'em ups.
No, I don't think I do either. I think, literally, to bring it back to that X-Men
He's like
game.
X-Men.
Can I bring it back to X-Men?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Permission.
There
He's
is-
going to anyway.
There's
Who are we kidding?
like some of the like crowd control moves, like literally the explosion kind of thing reminds me of specific things from that game. But otherwise, like a lot of the time in that game too, you're just hitting and punching. Like there's not really a lot of use of like powers. I guess maybe a little bit of variety between the characters would have been a little bit of fun, so that there'd be different reasons to use different characters other than just being like a skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, I don't know too many beat 'em ups to know like what anything would remind me of anything.
I think it's Streets of Rage as far as I can recall, but
I recently played Streets of Rage 4 because it's on Game Pass. That's like a .emu joint. I think they're doing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that's coming this holiday season, and it felt like that.
Yeah.
But I don't have tons of experience. Like, of course, I played the Simpsons arcade game. I played the X-Men arcade game. I played the Turtles arcade game, but like long time ago. So I can't be like, yes, it was Bart Simpson's move. It was X-Man person's move.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I did that to him specifically.
I know.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wolverine. Red Lady.
Red Lady.
Blue Man with hair. Should we end the podcast now?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
Oh no, I have more
Great.
things.
Thank you so much for coming. You said you have more things, Katie. Please move past this for me. Thanks.
I made notes about things that annoyed me. Actually, I feel
Nightcrawler. That's one.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
there's another blue man.
Wow, you did it.
Yeah, you did the thing.
Cyclops. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Save me. Gambit. That's your favorite.
He was, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's a good thing you two have been friends for a long time. Be over. Be all over.
I don't understand how now.
Yeah, no. The controls, like I said, were frustrating to me. Okay, I am basically my two games that I was playing simultaneously was this game and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Okay, great.
And there were times when I was so frustrated with Scott Pilgrim that I went to play Sekiro as a calming, relaxing thing to do. I found it less frustrating at times to play Sekiro.
That's wild to me.
Yes. Because I can do the things that I want. They'll probably still kill me, but at least I can move and do...
It's not your fault if you die.
No, yes.
In Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, Sekiro is my fault.
Yeah.
I screamed at myself when I played Sekiro. I called myself all sorts of names. It's ugly. Scott, I screamed at the game. I was very, very frustrated at the game. Again, I enjoyed it a lot, especially the first 3 levels. I was like, this is great. I had a lot of fun. And then I just got a little frustrated as I went along. But it has a lot of things I like I said. Art style, music, it has a charm to it that I like a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of charm
I like
to
the
it.
character, I like all the enemy models.
Yeah.
There's a good variety.
Yeah, there's a good variety. Like it's not, and I like that they reuse certain ones in a smart way. Like you have the people in costumes that are at the Lucas Lee filming, and you think they're and they made the levels interesting. It wasn't just a bunch of streets and you're just fighting in the same areas.
I really like the variety of levels.
Yeah, the levels never felt the same. You know, they always had something different. They always introduced a different kind of enemy type. It never felt the same, and I enjoyed that. It wasn't like that first same level over and over and over again, right? And I think that would add to the repetition, which would be even worse if that was the case.
You're on a streetcar. You're in a backyard.
Yeah.
You're in a Japanese-inspired castle.
Yeah.
You're at Castle Loma.
Yeah.
You're in the streets.
And then I think that's the thing. I think I could have gotten as frustrated as you did, but I reached that point where I was like, I need to grind. And
Oh yeah, no,
so
I grinded.
I did a lot of grinding. I ended up realizing that I couldn't do the final level with just the 3 lives that I had, because you only get 3 lives. If your lives
Right.
are gone, you die, right? So I ended up replaying the second half of the Todd one, the vegan guy one.
Yep.
Because so you can do that mini boss fight again with Envy and Lynette on the stage. And once I had that extra special roll punch attack, I could literally clear that level in like minutes, like the rest of that level. And then at the end of Todd's fight, you get a 1-up.
Oh.
Okay.
So you get an extra, he drops money and he drops a 1-up.
Interesting.
So I like did that a bunch.
Oh.
And I got nine 1-ups. So I had 9. But then also, so this is something that I mean would be beneficial to know. That very, very first shop in the first level, you can pay off Scott's late fees.
Yeah, that's
so
cute.
I really wanted to,
Yes.
and then I was just like, no, I'm done.
So paying off Scott's late fees.
Yes.
If you get enough money to do so, you then can buy 1-ups for like $5.
What?
Yeah. So then, and you also can buy a bunch of upgrades that give you like plus 10 to all your skills. Like they're really, really high skill boosting things because you paid off $500 in late fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, which in fairness, the way I did it is I spent money in Wallace's secret shop.
Yeah.
Where you get items like a bionic arm, and each of them boost your stats by 50, but they're each $100.
Yes, they're
So
pricey.
We probably took similar paths.
Yeah.
You got extra lives. I got my stats up to like in the 80s or 90s to beat the final boss.
That's the thing. Once I replayed that Todd level, like that second half a few times, I ended up getting really close to like $400, and I was like, oh. I have a ton of lives. I'm like $400. I'm going to go play through some levels that have more money. And because I was so already overpowered at that point, because I had been,
you can just
I just
roll
rolled
right
right through most levels, and I got enough money to then pay off the late fees. I maxed out my stats, and then it made the final boss. Because I tried that final boss.
Yeah.
And I played these levels multiple times. Yeah, they're hard. Like I died multiple times, and I hate that there is no checkpoint. Like if you die, you have to redo the entire level again. But I tried that final boss, and I was like, oh, this is like, I died. I didn't even I think there was like a techno base at the end.
Yep.
I died in there. And then, so I was like, I need to grind. So then that's where I got all my 1-ups. I maxed out my stats. And then it was super easy to finish the game afterwards because I was pretty much like a god.
Yeah. Because otherwise you have to beat like 4 levels of bosses.
Yeah.
There's Gideon. Then there's a sub boss once you get into the techno base. Then you have to beat like 3 levels.
There's Gideon, but there's Gideon like as a Hulk kind of man looking thing. And then there's Gideon as like a monstrosity.
Yeah.
Like inside of his own body. And then there's mini sub bosses inside of Gideon's lab where there's little robots.
Yep.
And then you fight Gideon again at the end as a human in like a sword fight kind of thing. But yeah, it was long. Like there's no way I could have done it with 3 lives.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I did it with
Yeah,
3 lives,
I did
but
it
my
with 3
stats
lives.
were all 90.
Oh,
See,
mine
I
were
did
not
it
80 or
90.
90.
I did it
I
in
took
2
a-
lives, but my stats once they were like that high, right?
I took a run at it and I failed. And then I grinded a little bit. And then, no, I did it with 3 lives and like, I think my stats were like 70-ish. Like nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that hard of a time. I was just very, very angry. But
Difficulty level did you play on?
normal.
Average guy.
Average.
Okay, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
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 Screw
There was too hard.
that.
Yeah, there's no way.
Did you guys touch some of the extra content? Like, cause there's like some side content where it's like, hey, play dodgeball, play a
No, I
battle
didn't.
royale. Okay,
No.
I touched them all, and they're not really. There's not.
I know
much
there's like a
substance.
zombie survival
Yeah.
one. I didn't do that.
That was fun to do once.
Yeah.
Truly, like it was. And then I'm like, great, I did that. Sweet.
And yeah, I think, how do you unlock that stuff? I think you have to like literally use codes or
No,
something.
it's in the complete version. I don't want to speak for like the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, which that might have been DLC
Okay.
or whatever, or cheat codes, but they're just available to you.
Oh, okay.
And
I
there's
don't think
4
I
of
just
them.
played through them. Maybe I
It's
just
like
didn't check.
Battle Royale, which I don't think you can't do it by yourself.
There's like a boss rush, right?
There's a boss rush, there's the zombie mode, and then there is a dodgeball game, which is like, it harkens back to like the GBA, like dodgeball games. For the GBA, there's like a launch title, it's a dodgeball game, it's very good. This is just like not, there's just no substance
You just
to it.
grab
Yeah.
balls and throw
Yep.
them? See, I had a hard time grabbing items. I
Yeah.
feel like I could not pick up items most of the time when I tried to
And
do
again,
it.
it's this beat 'em up thing where you have to be like directly
over
on
it,
it
yeah.
at the right pixel, and then you can pick it up. But
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all. Without weapons, I wouldn't have gotten through this game.
No, I don't think
No,
I ever...
it helps a lot for
I
sure.
don't
yes.
know if I barely touched. I think early on I used some baseball bats and a few things, but like,
Really?
most of the time
Oh,
I just
I
gave
usually,
up.
if it was around, like I try to pick something up, and then obviously at the end, the sword that
Yes.
you pick up is, if you just roll past that sword, I don't think that you're beating that boss.
No,
Like,
you know what I did to Gideon? I cheesed him to beat him.
what did you
Stuck
do?
him
I
in the
got him
corner?
stuck him in the corner, and I just went yeah for about 5 minutes until I beat him.
Yeah.
Did you make that sound while you did it?
I absolutely did not, but now I did for you and for this podcast listening audience. Look in the camera, wink a little bit.
Oh my God.
That was for the gifts.
Yeah.
Having cameras is weird. Is there any other major points in this game that we haven't yet covered? There's not like that much to it.
I would just say that the levels were they're creative in how they use their setting, and then the enemies. Like the movie set, I think was really good because then you have like a little director guy that comes out, and then the screen kind of changes as if it's through like as if
Like
it's
a
looking through a
viewfinder.
camera.
Yeah.
Like a viewfinder. And then people are coming out as if they're like cast in the movie, like they're in like alien suits.
Or like a dinosaur.
Yeah, like a Godzilla type
Rawr.
thing. Yeah. So and then you'd have extras. I think that was my favorite part. Was after you clear those out, there's like 4 extras or not.
Motion capture guys.
Mocap guys who are in green suits with little dots, and they're running. And this is also for the cameras. They're running at you like this. and they just run across the screen, and I was like, oh, that was clever. I really liked that. There was some stuff. And then the Halloween party kind of uses that too. There's like people in costumes, and there's like a skeleton guy they're fighting.
There's robot men.
yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. So-
Ninjas in the like,
Yeah, the ninja stuff. I like the ninja level
Yeah,
a lot.
that too.
Yeah, the music on that level too, I specifically very much enjoyed.
yeah, that
liked
one and
a
the
lot.
first one too.
Yeah.
I like the first stage
There's
music a lot.
A lot of the music I like. Yeah, there's that one. The first stage one. I like the park one too, which it's kind of just like a slight twist on that first stage. It's just like a little bit calmer, a little bit different, but because that one introduces like zombies and like wolverines and like owls that attack you. Like it's just it's interesting. It's different. I like that. Yeah, the level design, the enemy design, very good.
Yeah.
And the different music per levels was also very good.
That overworld song is stuck in my head permanently.
Now I have it in my head now because you literally just said it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Any final thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, complete edition?
I would say I enjoyed my time with it. I think I'm glad it was the length that it was.
How long did you play it for, you think? 6 to 10 hours?
Yeah, somewhere in that range, I'm sure. Especially like once I needed to start grinding, that was definitely like an hour to 2 hours of doing that. And that then made the game a lot easier for me, so I didn't end up getting to the point of like not wanting to play it anymore. I enjoyed being very overpowered at the end and just like zip through levels. Like I replayed that because when I was getting the late fees even, I was zipping through that first level just to get a little bit of extra cash. And I was just so like, you're one punching some of those guys. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm like, this is just so good. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think I would have enjoyed it more playing it with people.
Yes,
Yeah.
I wish the multiplayer had worked better
Yes.
because for the time that we played it, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then there was crashing, but like while we were playing, because you can like revive your teammates
Yes.
and you can run over.
Which
So like
makes it
one person,
easier.
that too. So one person is like, "No, I got them," and they're punching the enemies, and the other person's like, "No, I'm gonna save them," and they like jump over to help to heal the other person. So like and we're like talking and laughing the whole time, and like we had a lot of fun as multiplayer.
That's the thing. When we played together, it was great. And then to go and play by myself for the rest of the game, it was a different vibe.
Yes.
And I think it would have been way more fun to play it together with friends.
Yes, totally.
Maybe even like in the same room would
Yeah.
have been nice. You know what I mean? Like doing couch co-op.
I would really adamantly say if like there are not many games like this. Like I think of Castle Crashers as like on
Right.
the top of the pantheon of beat 'em up games that you would play on a couch next to someone. But this might be up there in like the top 3 because just there aren't many of them. The quality sometimes is spotty. The amount of content you get is spotty. Touching it, but no, it's a lot of fun. I wish we could have been together.
Yeah, I
because we
think
played it online, didn't work.
it would have just been more chaotic, and I think that would have added to the fun too, right? Like the crazy, like things just exploding and there's people everywhere. Like as opposed to like meticulously going through each level and having to beat up every single bad guy, we were just like you could just go crazy, and it wouldn't feel as repetitive. I think if you had a friend to play with.
Yeah.
So
So I guess in all what we're saying is like if this game interests you, the complete version's on everything.
get a friend.
Get a friend, and if you have a friend, like dunk your $10-20 whatever this game is to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you like beat 'em ups, I think it's totally worth picking up for sure. If it is not your favorite style of game, then maybe not.
Alone, don't.
Yeah.
Online?
Multiplayer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On the same couch.
Yes.
Okay.
Specific.
If you have a friend.
These are the conditions.
Yes. If you have at least one friend who you like enough to bring to your house in the post-COVID world that we live in, then consider buying Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
Yes.
TM.
Well put. TM.
I can't do this. For those of you listening to the audio version, I just winked at the camera. I have a problem. I am a narcissist. Let's end it there, and I will say Travis for the 16th time, Katie for the 10th time. Thank you very much for coming on this podcast. We love when you're on this show. Tell us where we can find your other show, Cutscenes. This is the dance that they always do.
Every time.
It's like, who's going to pitch it? And Katie usually is the one who pitches it.
You go.
I've made him do it a couple times.
Yeah. I'm just not as good at it.
Okay. Cutscenes is our podcast that the three of us have. That is a seasonal podcast about video game movies or TV shows that we basically do this, but with video game movies.
Yeah, there's like, I can take over.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's like segments. We'll do like a bunch of little games. We'll do, different activities. We'll read some reviews. We'll do, a bunch of little things. It's just a great time. Like we just like hanging out with each other and, a little bit of chaos, but it's fun.
And watching usually not very good movies.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Some of them are fine.
Some of them are fine.
Some of them are fine. You have a third guy in the show. He's a narcissist.
We don't talk about him.
No. I love that. He doesn't know much about X-Men, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Where can that show be found on the internet?
That show is at cutscenespod.ca. Cutscenes.ca.
And at
This is why I don't do this.
Cutscenes_pod.
Yeah, I know the Twitter.
Media.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, so the Twitter is
Cutscenes_pod.
Yes, cutscenes_pod.
Got it.
And then the Instagram is the same thing. And the website is cutscenes.ca, where you can find all the episodes and the links to all the social media stuff.
And truly, if you've liked it so far, if you've liked this repartee, in the feed right next to this show, there's an entry that says Introducing Cutscenes. It is our Scott Pilgrim episode of the show. Download it, listen to it, and hopefully you'll have a good time.
That's the first show we ever did.
It is.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm. We've gotten so much better since then.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. We started off really well, truly. We did. It could have been much worse.
But yes, no, I feel like this show is we're going. Like I feel like we've really hit our stride. We're starting recording season 3. That's gonna be coming out later this year. So check it out.
Where can y'all be found on the internet?
I'm on Twitter. I am Lesperance. I'm on there. I talk about video games, random things that happen, mostly video games.
You found a murder weapon in a lake or something?
Yes. I didn't. My dad did. I got sent a picture of a saw blade attached to a 2x4.
Yeah.
That rusty that he pulled out of the lake because he's retired and he's bored, so he magnet fishes in the lake now to see what he pulls up.
Oh, there we go.
It's terrifying.
Hopefully I didn't kill the camera when I did that.
Yeah. So he found that. So my conclusion was either someone was really ready for zombies because it looks very Days Gone-y.
Yeah.
Or there was a small town murderer because that's where you throw your murder weapon in the lake.
I thought it was bees when I first looked at it really quickly.
Bees?
Not rust. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are bees doing on that murder weapon?
Yeah, That's in the lake. Wonder why.
At Lesbrack on Twitter.
Yeah. You can find that kind of great content on my Twitter.
Travis, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter too, at Travis Colenutt. There's no murder weapons to be found.
What about X-Men?
Oh yeah, there's that. Yeah.
Can you name some X-Men?
I'm not going to name X-Men. Do your work and
Okay.
find them yourself.
Stop being privileged and do the work.
That's right.
I understand. Okay. The Left Behind Game Club is a podcast that you can find more out about. That was Canadian. At leftbehindgame.club, our website. You can find us on social media at Left Behind Game Club on Instagram and at Left Behind Club. You can find me on the internet at Jacob McCord on all major social media platforms. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I do lots of crazy stuff. One special thank you to Shane Chieso, who's here doing our video production today. He is a star. He does the social media stuff for us as well. So give him a follow at Chiesu on Twitter and YouTube. That's CHIASSON. Right? See, I didn't write it down. CHISS. Oh no, it's Chiesu. It's not your last name. It is CHIASSOO. Perfect.
You would do great at the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
I should usually. I should write things down that I'm going to say. That is our show. So I will close in the way that we close all of our shows, and that, my friends, is one less game left behind.